Good. Oh, now, good Friday afternoon. Is it already afternoon? Yeah. So, today I want to play around with NgRx Signal Store. I've never used it, so this will be like the first time that I actually use it. So, again, we will start off by generating a new private project, and I thought about what kind of project could we use to manage some state. So either we do again a to-do list, but I think that's kind of boring, always to-do list, but it should be something where we can basically edit something, right? So I thought about a small app where you can generate football teams. So you have a list of teams, you can add new ones, and you can add and delete them, right? So something like that. It can also be anime characters, it doesn't really matter, like, I don't know. It doesn't matter what we do. Like let's do movie characters or just TV show characters. SRE, hi. How are you doing? How is it going? New movie characters, or like just TV show characters. Let's go with that. Let's go movie or football. Okay, that sounds good. We go with SAS, server-side rendering we don't need for the moment. Hello Rashad, how is it going? So let's see. Installing packages. Hi Ilir. Told you, have you seen AC Milan? Now next year Europa League. But you did well. It was just a bit unfortunate with PSG. Andre, hello, welcome to the stream. Installing packages, this is super slow. I'm still wondering if I should switch to bun. But okay, for the first one you can basically, I don't know, can you do ng-new -- skip install and then do bun install? I'm sending from my Node.js cookies to the front end, but I won't see those cookies in this section. Yeah, like the cookies are usually added by the server, right? And then you see them there somewhere in the response headers in the browser. You should be able to see the cookies. Oh, I'm super interested on this topic. I have a small task for an interview refactoring from behavior subject to Signal Store. So you have the task for a guy to do that, or you need to do it? TV show characters, we called that. Yeah, so let's again use the EIP version. Open documents code, private TV show characters. Your videos are always really cool. That's cool. Thanks a lot. I'm very happy to hear that, because the whole YouTube thing is like, it's a lot of effort, and yeah, it's cool if they are helpful, because that's the only reason that I actually do it, to share with the community, right? But in terms of revenue and stuff, it's like for nothing. So therefore I'm super glad if it's helpful. What's up with NgSurf? Like, npm run start, no, building, nice, cool. So localhost 4200, good, here we go. Brand new Angular application, nice. Now, should we go with Tailwind? I don't know, you guys like Tailwind or not? Because Tailwind is kind of the thing that is like, half of the community likes it, half doesn't do it, half doesn't like it. What's up? Like, why is he loading there? Hi Code with Zach, welcome to the stream. Oh my god, my ID is super slow. What is going on? Come on. Why? Like, I didn't do anything too complicated. Yeah, I installed a bunch of node modules. But what's going on? Cool. Let's give him a minute. Hey. Yeah, so what is up with WebStorm? Like, sometimes force quit. Oh my god. And I'm using the EAP version because we will probably use some control flow, and therefore the control flow is not yet supported on the I don't know if it's now out on the latest version. Documents. So sorry for that. I again have to open it, which is super annoying. Okay, but here we go. So let's see again. Zoom, ID zoom 125%, good. So now, okay, I guess we are going to use Tailwind. So it's basically the two things we have to do to get started with Tailwind. Boom. Tailwind init. Then this one is important, this line inside the Tailwind config. And also, in case you are using Tailwind, it's not yet there, still doing it. Now we have the Tailwind config. In case you are using this in a multi-project workspace, then basically it's super important that this path gets adjusted to project, because otherwise Tailwind will not work there, right? And I think that's then styles. Good. We have ngServe. Let's also copy that one. App.component. Boom. So this is already Tailwind, right? Now, what I want to have is probably some sort of header. New file. Let's do a new core folder. Core, and there we do a new file. Add component, standalone, true, selector, app header, export class, header component. Vanilla Tailwind little mess. Not sure what you mean by that. Let's do an H1 that we call TV show characters. Oh my god. Header. Good. So the class would be height, I don't know, 12 maybe. Beachy. Let's go with blue. 900. I think it's not color, it's text white. Then flex, align middle, they call it align, is it align middle? I think it's like that. So header component, and do we display that already? No. App header, good. So here we go, but it's not, I don't think it's align middle, it's items. This is another one, I think it's item center probably. Yeah, it looks like that. And let's also give it a padding of 5. Something like that. So we have a header. Maybe I bumped the font size a bit. So good. Hi Kevin, hi Adrian, how is it going? Cool. So now what we want to do is basically we want to have two things. So first we want to have some possibility to add like a new movie character, and that would be like, usually we would do features, but here we can basically, I mean, we can still have a features. Usually you do the lazy loaded features in this directory, right? But here we don't really do lazy loading, we only have one page to keep it simple, but we will do a character editor component TS, which is add component. App character editor template. I don't know what AI did there, like character editor coming soon, right? So what I basically want to have is some sort of card. So I guess that this thing should be a shadow, rounded, padding of 5, something like that. And then inside here we want to have an input, which basically is class height 12, maybe a label, because we will have like character name, so that will probably be a div. The whole thing here should be wrapped inside a form, I guess. Or do we even need a form? We can use forms, doesn't matter. So we have one label. This should be flex call. And then what else? We full, I think it's called we full, to take the full width. And then down here we have a button add character, which is class beachy blue 900 color. Maybe we go with beachy blue 700 or something, and then on hover, how is the hover state in Tailwind? hover beachy blue 900 color white, something like that. Then we take this editor component, we add it, and then inside our HTML we go app character editor div. I think Tailwind has some sort of container. Let's see what this renders. Yeah, not the most beautiful thing yet, but we get there. So basically what we still need inside our... I thought Tailwind has some sort of container that basically centers it. Container. We need to give it the class container, breakpoint, max width, use the container, mx auto. Probably that's missing. And then let's see if that's... Yeah, so the container works, but we are zoomed in. Then let's give this a margin top of 10. Something like that. Now character editor, again, we don't go for the most beautiful UI here. Border, and then I think it's border -2, border. Is it just border -2? Is this already enough? Yeah. What if I just do border? Okay, I think that's what I want. Question is, for consistency, probably we want to have... What is the name of the IDE? The name of the IDE is WebStorm. So it's a JetBrains product. So if you go to jetbrains.com, it's basically they have different kind of tools. You see they have IntelliJ, which is more for Java, PHP, Python, whatever. And I'm using the WebStorm one. Because that's focused on web development. So that button still looks very ugly. So let's give it a padding of 5 and a margin top of 5. And then also we should probably, if we go rounded with the cards, we should probably also go rounded inside, I guess, for consistency. So I would say that we go a bit smaller. So maybe just rounded XL. Something like that should look okay. And then also the same on the input and on this input as well. Good. Add characters should have color white. And now this is somehow what I don't like so much about Tailwind. Like your HTML just becomes almost unreadable. It's not color white, it's text white. Isn't it text white? It's loading. Why is it now loading so slow? What up? Something's weird. Okay. Here we go. Right? Okay, that should... Okay, I have to style those things all myself. Padding of 2, or give it a left padding of 5. But still okay. What? Isn't it padding left? Ah, it is, but this is a problem. Makes sense. Okay. So we have character name, that would be character name, and this one here would be character image. Let's go with that. Good. So this is basically our form. So what we would say, private form builder, which is equal to inject form builder. And now what we do inside the constructor, do we do it, probably can even do it inside implements on init. I mean, here in this case it doesn't really make a difference if we do it in on init or in the constructor. Anyway, this dot, okay, that's the form builder, and then we need a character form. Actually, we can do it top level. What am I doing? So, and we have a character name and a character image, and we say validators dot required like this, and then down here we do a small div and we call it class equals to beachy red 200 border red 400 padding of 5 rounded XL, something like this, and then we say here something went wrong, whatever. Yeah, maybe it's better to use the non-nullable form builder. Yeah. How was that again? There is this. It's still a form builder, but I don't remember how it was. Non-nullable, I guess. Not group, I think it's like this, right? So let's see how that error message looks like. Something went wrong, cool, but we need a margin top of 5. So, and we only say add if character form dot invalid, right? So we have it like that. Dot, this is just the boolean value changes. Dot, isn't there like the is if it's touched and invalid, right? So we don't display it, but this should be basically also here we call it type button. Yo Risley, hello, how is it going? So this is good, but now, okay, this doesn't react, of course. How did I call it? Character form? Isn't this? So valid false, and of course this doesn't react. quickly see because yeah, but that's for the form field. And we also have that on the whole form, right? I'm also passing in the validators wrong, I think. They need to be in an array. Yeah, cool. Yeah, of course. That was stupid. So I didn't even I didn't even connect it with the form, right? So we didn't even use form group. So that was okay. Oh my god. Character form. Reactive forms module is imported, and then we go and we say this input is form control name. What was it? Character name. Yeah. Et like this, and this is character image. Yeah. Okay, that's wrong. It should not. If character form dot invalid. And character form dot touched. So we don't have it. Yeah. So we basically this is kind of how we want it, right? So it would be nice if there's also the pristine. Yes, I guess the dirty, but still we fire, right? If we come here. Yeah, if it, I think that's good. Like if it's dirty. Just thinking. So, do you really want, if you do this, already show this error? Probably not. Touched. So a character name and image are required, because actually I would want to fire. I don't want this actually, because usually what you want is to give him the chance to basically say, well, I tried. Maybe we only want to show it on submit. How about that? Like, how about we show like character form dot is it the pristine? No, because untouched I don't want to. I would want to basically, when submit button is clicked, I could add another flag for that, but isn't there a nicer way? So I could do like, when we click like submit. Yeah, usually its form has its own message, exactly. But I mean, we can do it like this. So we just say we have a invalid form submitted equals false, and we say this is a add a reference to the form, characters form, ng form. Yeah. But I want to have the reactive forms. But yeah, And then how would you do it? I mean, because we have the reference to character form, right? But the question is more like, this works, but I only want to show it when I submit. And I don't know if this is possible out of the box to just show the message only on submit. But let's see if you know how, then because I would say possible. Okay. Form.submitted. Okay. Okay. Good, got it. Nice. So we would do character form equals to ngForm. Character form ref, let's call it like this. And then you guys say we can do ref dot submitted. Oh wow. Invalid and submitted. Why is submitted now already true? Or am I doing something wrong? Maybe I missed the import that Ilir was mentioning. Property submit does not. Ah, of course. Yup. Forms module. Now let's see. Do we get an error? So let's see. You would say that character form dot submitted. Character form ref, of course. False. Maybe then this button cannot be of type button. Yeah, okay, good. So cool. Thanks for that. I was not aware that we can do it like this. Test, good. And like this we get it, right? If the form is submitted. Nice. Okay, cool. And then we probably do a NgSubmit, handle submit. So let's add that function. Here we go. And I guess we enter that no matter if it's valid or not, right? I was surprised too, why only with the ngForm directive exported from forms module, yeah. Because it feels a bit weird that you import reactive forms and then the forms module, but okay. So if our character form is invalid, we return. And now the thing starts here. So else, what we would want to do is add this to a signal store, right? So now let's start to bring in NgRx Signal Store. So we first have to install, I think they have a dedicated package for that, which is at NgRx Signal Store. Or even at NgRx Signals, I think, creating a store, installation, yeah, ng-add. Let's do that. Would you like to proceed? Yes. Okay. what was done there? Probably just something in package.json. That's the Tailwind config. So yeah, now I guess it's time to generate a store. So NgRx Signal Store, from what I've seen, is you have different kind of ways of doing a store. Like you can either do this where you just say like signal state or something it's called. You have to check how the function is called. Signal state, yeah. And when you do signal state, you just get a signal state. I think that's more like inside the components you want to use that. But I would say, where's the mouse here? In our case, I would probably do somewhere, I don't know if you want to do it in core state or just like here. Maybe we do it inside here, new directory state. And we call it like new file characters.store.ts, something like that. And now what we would do is inside here, we would basically start to generate our store. And now the way this is done is export const character store, and then they do it like core concepts signal store, yeah. So you would say this is a signal store, and you give it a callback. And I think there is that provided in? So they basically provide it somewhere in root. So you would say signal store from NgRx provided in root, but this is an object. No, it's not. It's like they say with state, and inside our state, so this with state also comes from NgRx signals, and here we generate our state. So we have characters currently inside our state. So that's basically the store, right? From what I've seen. So you just generate a store like this. Now this store has a bunch of things on it, like you can have computed with computed, you can have with methods, and there they use patch state. So count with methods. So I would say in our case, what we have to define is with methods, and then inside there we pass in a callback, and inside this callback we destructure the characters and then the state, right? With methods we have to import. And how do they do it? They do, sorry, store. So I guess then here we have a method add character, which calls patch state. Patch state, and then inside here we have to pass in store and then an object where we say characters, and we add a character which we get from here, right? So maybe we should also define somewhere export interface character, which has a name and an image. So on add character we would get character, and then So I guess this one basically has to be the whole state. I don't know if we need to destructure this. This can just, so basically let's go like this. So this is the state, right? And then we say patch, and here it's not store, it's state. So we patch the state, and we'll say state of characters. So we characters, that's the state, right? Let me quickly close that here. Hi Abdullah Fal, how is it going? So let's see, type with methods. So we have that, that's the closing bracket for that, then probably one okay, now at least we have that green. Now he says characters is an empty array, and I don't know if we have to say as character array. And then what is the issue here? State of characters character must have a symbol iterator returns a method that returns an iterator. Yes, makes sense. Yes, exactly, Ilir. You are completely right. This is a signal because every property here is a signal inside here. So also if you would have like my object and you would have a nested thing, that nested thing would also be, this would be a signal, and the nested one would also be a signal. So really, as Ilir said, those things are all signals inside here. Cool, so we have that with methods. And now basically what we can do is we can go, and we have provided in root. Let's also build out a characters list. So next we go and we say features, new file, characters, character list dot component dot ts. Add component standalone true selector add characters list. Now we want to build some nice Tailwind card. So we say again, we have a div class rounded XL. Then we have an image where we say class rounded minus top left minus XL, rounded minus top right minus XL. So that's basically it. Also here I like this cool effect of having a small padding, or here even having like a border of 2, and that would be border white. And then inside here we just have like a span with class text 3XL. So, and here we would say private character store equal to inject character store. So we add that. Image is probably complaining about an alt like character, or what is his issue here? Yeah, source is coming, right? And now we say characters is equal to this.character store characters. As Ilir said, we have to call that. So we would go at 4. This is wrong. Character of characters. Track character, right? Something like that. And then inside here we would say source character.image, and here we would say character.name, right? Something like that. Of course, the image we also have to add some more classes, because we have to say it should be with full height 20 and object cover, something like that. Good. So now let's see what this does. So we have character list component, and generally I would say that this whole list should probably be a grid. Grid calls, let's go with 3 calls, something like that. And now app component characters list, so let's, who do we want to add? Maybe we want to add so let's go here, and is it still character of characters, because this shouldn't be called here. Now Rafi, yes. So we add character, but of course on submit we don't do anything, right? So we first have to go to the character editor, and inside here we again have to add like private characters store, inject character store, and now what we have to do, we have to construct a new character, name this character form dot, how is it, get, and we get the character name and was it image, and they are possibly null, which is wrong because here we already have the check, right? So we are guaranteed that they are there. So we go like this, and that's basically how we would dispatch an action, right? Rafi, and we can see how we get that stuff rendered. Something is not working with the template, but that's basically because of our image URL somehow. copy. I mean, what is wrong with that URL? Image source. The source is set to name. Yeah, there it is, the bug. Okay, here we go. The height is not good. All right, so character list, we should probably have. Let's also quickly, for this, let's quickly go to our state and just add like a initial character. Rick Sanchez. Who is Rick Sanchez? Now I'm curious. Who is Rick Sanchez? Ooh, that's the guy from Rick and Morty. I haven't watched that. So, but we said height is 20 even a valid Tailwind property. I think it should be. Height 52. Yeah, maybe even bigger. Height. I don't know. What do we have here? 52. 56. Height. Is there even 72? We should also give it a gap of 5. Object fit. You think contain is better? Let's see. Yeah, object contain is much better. Yes, and then probably we still should have on our card a shadow 2XL. And then of course here on that span a padding of 5. Something like that. Doesn't look too good, but I mean, also here we just give it like a class MT5. Doesn't that work? Do I really have to wrap that inside a div container, MX auto? So the container can also be like flex, flex call, and gap 5. Yeah, something like that. So now we have a list and we can basically adjust that list, right? And we can go and add a new character, like let's go and add the Rick Sanchez. So we basically need to copy out the image URL. Rick Sanchez, and we add him. Nice. So that's basically make it a block element, I guess. Yeah, probably. So that's kind of the Signal Store already. Now, of course, we want to probably also be able to remove a character from the store. So Angular material icons. Not this one. It's material symbols and icons. I always use this one, and then there is a remove. I think it's even called delete. So I go to the index.html. Inside here we add that, and then characters list component. We do whatever you have here. Where is it? Where is it? This one. Boom. Span. And then probably this whole thing should be also flex and justify between, right? And also item center. Now we have that icon here. Let's put in a cursor pointer. Yeah, and then on click, what we want to do is here we want to basically click remove item, right? It would have been easier if our item also has an index. So I guess we should probably add an index. So let's say our characters. Also has an ID. I mean, let's say we have then here a ID count, which starts at 0. We say character. So probably inside this method I would do like that character. This would be basically, is it pick? How was it? TypeScript pick. Required read-only keys. Yeah, so we can basically pick the keys. So we can say pick character, and then we say we want to have a name. And how was it? Like this, I think. Image. And then we say const character to add is equal to yes. And now what is the problem here? Do we have to cast that? Because it makes sense. We should also pass in this character to add here. Yeah, like that. And now we probably should get that. Let's also quickly, to prove that, quickly log character.id. Let's just go with that. So we have Rafi test. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it's stuff gets added. I don't know why the second line is like smaller. Yeah, because there's no image in it. Makes sense. Okay, so now if we remove it, or we want to remove, of course, on our store, we add another method, which is remove character ID, which is basically just a number, and then we say what AI says, because it makes sense, like patch state characters.filter, where the character ID is not right, it's not the current ID. And then inside our list we have to say remove ID is the character store that remove item, and here we basically need the ID, which is a number, then here ID, and remove character.id, right? So now let's again go add a bunch of things. So we remove them. Pretty nice. I think that's pretty cool. I like it. And also what I like compared to the current NgRx, it's somehow less boilerplatey. I mean, can we also then extract this out? Like, can we say we have new file characters.store.methods. I don't know what the best practice here is, but I guess we could say here we take that out and we say export const character store methods. The reason why I go uppercase here is, okay, you don't really have access to state. Yeah, the ID count is not there, but I mean the state comes from here. Okay, probably we have to type the state, so let's see. With method state would be probably we would need an interface. Character state, that would be like this. And then we say here that's of type character state. And then it completely breaks. Add character, remove character. Aha. Okay, that's not really, that's the whole store. Signal Store feature. I mean, you can do like store slices, but the slice would just be just shrinking. The slice would be like a new state. So I don't know if this makes sense to do. Also, how do you make sure that those are in sync? I'm not sure. So maybe this is really meant to be used like this, inline, because Signal Store then wires it up. But still, this is method. Okay, the type here is character, signal, character, whatever. Maybe, let's do it again. Right now I don't know what I have done. I think the problem is that we didn't type it as signal. I think the thing is that basically export interface character state will probably be signal of that, I guess. And now let's see if we could even type that as character state, character store, character state. I mean, what is the type of this? It's type. What is type? Okay, I don't know how to type this thing. Extend signal feature result signal store, and it returns. Oh my god. Here, type signal store props. What is this type? And state signal pretty file. So I don't know. It seems to be a bit complicated. So let's go with the inline version. Maybe we can later explore that, because there is some other stuff I still want to explore. So now we have that. right? We have those methods, which is cool. But now probably what you would want to do is, let's say we would want to add a backend request, right? So let's say we have some backend where we store characters. And I think the easiest way to just simply get a characters backend is probably by just getting a JSON server. npm.js, I think there is this package called JSON server. Small JSON server for REST API mock, yes. So npm i-g JSON server. I think the JSON server is cool to quickly mock something. And then we do run server JSON path to file, get resource. So I would say we create in our root a new file called mock or backend mock, or even characters backend.json, and it's just something that has a characters on it, so something like that. And then we go and we say JSON server, actually probably just like this, JSON server, that should be there. Which directory am I? Print working directory, JSON server, and I called it minus path dot slash server running on port 3000 slash, is it slash characters? Okay, we get an empty array back. So now let's go, and you can see that here, and let's add from our store, characters store, let's take Rafi again. And this is again what I don't like so much, is now Signal Store feature that lets you wrap them. Yeah, but then you basically, for the Signal Store feature, I think you always do again with state, or I think you do again the with state, or can you just extract the methods itself? You know what I mean? NgRx Signal Store deep dive, blah blah blah. That's a cool blog from Manfred with call state. They had somewhere, this is the Signal Store feature, right? That's basically something that is like your thing that you do. And then again, this one, right? They do with state. So that's basically then your new feature slice, basically, or your state slice that you pass in. But what I wanted to do is just extract for the existing state slice, just extract, for example, the with computed, just to separate this thing into multiple files. I don't know if it even makes sense, but I'm not sure if I can use Signal Store feature as well, because I think if you don't have state, yeah, I'm not sure, maybe it's possible, but now JSON has to be like, do I have to restart. But this JSON server is pretty cool. Yeah, now we get basically Rafia's character here. So now the question is, how can we basically initially load that? So we don't have inside our character store, we no longer have characters. So now we start. How do we do that, right? And there is some cool stuff that you can do, because you can have hooks on that store, and you can also have signals, or signals. You can have RxJS basically there. So let's see how we do that. So let's first add a service. So I will probably do like under features, new file, or do we even do it under core characters service.ts, whatever. Add injectable, and now let's see. So we say provided in root, and then we say here export class character service private HTTP inject HTTP client, good. And then we add a function load characters, which does return backend URL, which is HTTP localhost 3000. So we would say inside here backend URL, yeah, slash characters, and what you will return here is an array, a character array, right? So that's basically it. Now what we want when our store, or when we start our store, we want to actually load that. So there is this other function that is called with hooks, and with hooks basically allows you to define, remember in the NgRx world we had this in, how was it, in on init you could dispatch, like, it was not on init, it was on server construct, like the effects were a service, and there you could dispatch like some initial action or whatever it was. I don't remember by heart. But basically now we can say on init, and on init we call a function. So we just call our load function, which we still have to add here. So that would be load, and then probably here on top somewhere, I guess somewhere here, or where do we inject the service? I think we inject it just here, probably. Private characters, not private, just const character service. And that's all possible because of the inject and the, I mean, these recent features, if you think about, like, for a long time I haven't really seen where they were going with this, but the more I think about it, the more I see how this is meant to be used. Okay. Yeah. Because now you see the problem is that we are not returning this object, because this is an implicit return kinda. So what we would need, what load action fire data loading, right? Yes, exactly. So what we would need is we need return this like that here, and then is it, I guess there is this missing, probably. Yeah. What's the best way to attach API URL to HTTP request from the service? I was using interceptor. So the API URL to the service, I usually do it over environment files. But I mean, if you really want to attach something centralized, then probably an interceptor, I guess. But then, of course, it's a bit difficult if you have like, what if somebody comes and wants to have another URL? Then you kind of have to make sure that the interceptor, because interceptors are globally, right? You cannot, and then if you have another backend where you want to call it, and the interceptor would also intercept that request, and then you basically have to filter out and stuff for custom logic. So I don't like it. So I would really go with environment files and just on the service do it, like here, backend URL. So now here it gets interesting, because we could do that subscribe, but from what I've seen, they have something that is called like Rx method, and the Rx method basically allows you to basically use RxJS in there. So that's pretty cool. Let me see if I can find somewhere, because I don't remember the syntax. I think it's called Rx method. Let me see if I can, because I don't really find it here, right? So let's see if I can do, I think it was called Rx method. And then, I don't know, you can give it a generic character list, and here you can do so I think this get passed, and then it handles the subscription for you. And here we probably have a pipe, and there we do tab characters patch state, which then basically patches the state and updates the stuff. So let's see if that works. Is it just load? This does load. Because that's now with methods, and I thought I could call that here, and I can, I think, but I think I first have to destructure that here, because here you get in the state. So basically you get in the stuff, and then you destructure, and then you call it. Now let's see what happens. I have no idea, but in best case fails. Yeah, because okay, that's already good. Nah, I don't know if it only fails if the request actually happens, but it's basically because we didn't have inside the app config. But if it would only fail if the request happens, then it basically means that we are firing a request, which is ooh, you see that? So now basically what happened is we were firing initially no throttling. We fire a characters request where we get back the character. So this is already a backend request. That's pretty neat. Header component. So then characters list, I still want to do the name here. Okay, I like that. That's cool. Also, I think I really prefer it over the current NgRx. It feels like I'm in this file. Somehow also, remember how I wanted to take it apart. Now that I start working with this, I like that I don't have to take it apart. It's all in here. Somehow this is my state file. I really like it. Because previously, for me, NgRx was always a bit over the place and very hard to follow where is stuff getting on and like. But this is cool. This is cool. Do we also have some sort of dev tools? NgRx signals, signal state. Yeah, signal state. So that's another thing that's more like a component state where you just can use it for a component itself. But basically you have a signal state and then you have patch state on that thing, right? Which is cool. I really like that. But are there, yeah, this is basically the hooks. Rx method string, yes, yes. So I am curious now. We could also add a loading state, but still I'm curious about dev tools. No, I haven't seen that, but we can check that out as well. Because Joshua is doing like pretty cool videos. Add support for Redux dev tools, which information one blah blah blah. Signal Store feature with so I guess this is still open, I guess. Defining store methods, defining life cycles. Provides a way, yeah. I don't know if the current store dev tools also work. I mean, we can try that. I think for the dev tools, we probably have to developer tools, NgRx store dev tools. I don't know if this will work. Let's do it here. So, start. Oh no, we should first go to the app config. Ah, he already did it, provide store dev tools, cool. But yeah, I don't know if this will work for Signal Store. I mean, how was it again? There should be... Oh, I don't remember. Wasn't there like a tab? Layer elements. I just remember that you have this view, but I don't remember. Instrumentation. Max age, whatever. Yeah, there was an extension that we need. Redux DevTools extension. If I can, browser extension for Chrome. Redux DevTools, I have that. Manage extensions. Redux DevTools, I should probably just enable that. And now, if I reopen the console, I have Redux. And I don't think this is working, because you can see that I have state, pin undefined raw. I don't think this is yet there, because you still have action diff and so on. So I don't think this is yet there. But still, let's do the delete. So whatever, it also doesn't hurt if it's there. So characters list, and then we have here remove character. And we still have our method on the store. Also the patch state, here we still have character to add. So probably now this is a bit harder, because usually you would probably just add it on the server, right? And the server would then kind of do the ID. So I guess it's not cool that we have the ID here. But what we can do is basically generate a UUID or something like that. Or for our case, we just start with an ID of 1, because we know on the server, no, it would be better to have like a real ID. Is there an easy way also with timing, like just plain JS, generate me some JavaScript, that generates a UUID? Yeah, characters.length plus 1. Actually true. Actually true. That's probably, let's do that. I think that's good. So that would be state.characters length plus 1, right? So that would be the character to add, and then inside here we do the whole thing, load, and then now do we just do Rx method? Like, do we just do it like this? So Rx method, and that wouldn't be load characters, that would of course be like, can I do add character, put, here you get a put character, something like that. Yes, exactly. You are 100% right, yeah. So this is not gonna work if we delete characters. Yes, perfect. So then maybe we still trust this, generate UUID. What does it do? Math random times 16, whatever. It looks super complicated. I mean, should we trust him? Seems to be unique. Good enough for our case. Good enough. Right. Okay. Something like that. So you generate the UUID. Now probably this has to be a string, and then still we say add character. So we load the characters, and probably the question is, do we want to be optimistic here? And do we want to be optimistic and already update the state even though we didn't get like the character back? And then just here, if you have an error, we just revert it. So we would say catch error, and then we will basically show an error. Enable soft wrap in ID. I think, do I have soft activate adders soft wrap? Okay. Oh, that's such a helpful. Thanks a lot. That's a good idea. Oh wow, cool. Yeah, let's keep it simple because I don't want to introduce the whole error handling yet. So let's say we have add character. So here we would say add character. So we pass in our character to add, and then when it comes back, we basically then we do the patch state. Something like that. And then same for remove. For remove, we would get a ID which is of type string. Then we would again do this Rx method where we say Rx method remove or delete character. So that's in this method here, delete character. We take in the ID which is of type string. This HTTP dot delete. I guess that's just slash ID, right? I guess the JSON server does it like this. Right. Delete character to character ID. And then tap patch state. Also, this all is basically based on the premise. Yeah, whatever. No, that's good. Okay. Same here. Let's see. So somehow with ES build, I have to be careful when it, because if you just refresh, it will look like it runs, but actually you end up with an old state. So remove item is character.id, which is that's on the list, and this is a string. Yes. Now it works, it runs. So let's say we add another character, I don't know, Sheldon. Copy. Here, this is cool image. Copy image address, and let's do Sheldon. And we add him, and somewhere it fails. Rx method can only be used within an injection context, such a field in a... Oh, really? Makes sense, but then why did it work? So here's why I'm confused. It works in the with hooks, because I guess the with hooks are called, probably this is considered an injection context. Okay. Then let's try to, because that's not so cool. Inject the injector. And then here we would say injector dot, no, it's called run in injection context, and we pass in the injector and a callback, which then is this Rx method, right? Like this. Maybe? Error. Okay, at least we were doing the request, but the put was basically how is the put working on this JSON server? Because I think now it's JSON server. Is this the one that we took? Yeah. Start JSON server. Is this the one that we have? No. Minus watch backend characters backend JSON dot patch maybe, but I think it should. So this is the resource. Let's try it again with this one. Let's say again, not found. And let's see the docs. So you have that posts. So post is not like the post, it's just the post, and you'll get yes. If you make post, your request body JSON should be object enclosed. Aha. No. For example, name foobar. Thank you, Adrian. Stupid, yeah. Thanks a lot. Okay. That makes sense. Sheldon. There he is. And now the cool thing is, of course, if we check our mock backend, it is there with that beautiful ID, and we can go and delete Rafi. Delete works. Wow. Okay, so that's basically that Signal Store, right? Now, of course, we could do a put. Of course, you could do like error handling where you patch the state with displaying spinners and whatever. You can go crazy with that. But that's the basics of the new Signal Store. You can also, as Ilya pointed out, you can have multiple feature slices, state slices, which is cool. So yeah, I think that's a pretty neat one. I like it. I think it's cooler than the current one. Also, what they say on the NgRx docs, where do we have them? NgRx get started. Where was it? Signals. I think they also have some support for entities if you like entities, but core concept So you defining store methods, yeah, that's what we saw. And what did I wanted to say? Custom store features. So you can have like some custom store features, okay, signal state. Yeah, this one I wanted to point out also, that if you have something that doesn't require the whole store with all the methods and stuff, you can still use signal state, which is a simpler form because it's not signal store, it's just signal state. And there basically you just have everything that is inside there, you get it as a signal. You can use the patch state, pass in the state, and just update your state, right? I don't know what's the big benefit over having like signals where you just update, but there is probably one. Yeah, it's probably more convenient, and everything you get from that signal is, I guess, if you have nested stuff, everything that you get out is just a signal. That's cool. But yeah, Franco, yes, entities are really cool. There are a few articles like the following that show full potential of typing signal stores. Okay, I'm curious. So I guess it will send the article, or is it here on this page? Then I'm also curious. Yeah, about basically the best practices when you use it in a bigger application. I think in a bigger application, what you will have is you will for sure use custom store features. But yeah, and Ilir, I think the exercise that you mentioned, converting a behavior subject store into this, is pretty cool. I think that's cool. But then it also, I don't know if it's just a behavior subject, maybe I would even do it with the signal state if it's just small. But once it has backend requests, initial load, and all this kind of stuff, then probably store makes sense. But yes, I think, how long are we in now? 1 hour 42. Yeah, I think that's it for today. So I hope this was helpful. Last round of interview, cool. But you are doing the interview, or you are giving it? Angular Architects Signal Store deep dive. Okay. So what do they do here? That Signal Store providing root. That's basically everything that we've seen. This is an extension, so you can have custom extension, but that's then like this own feature slices, I guess, with the method, patch state. Also, they do it with find promise. So they do their update not with the HTTP client, but with some promise-based thing, and then they can use async await, which is way nicer than what we do, because for this actually you don't need. I would be curious if this find promise is done with fetch. My article here, is there somewhere the code? Yeah, they also have the loading methods. Yeah, this with call state, exactly. That's a signal store feature, and look at this typing. Okay, maybe. Yeah, that's still cool. That's just the state that you could take out, but you still need state, signals, methods. That's, I don't like this typing, it's too complicated, because you need to type everything that you have here. Yeah, and then they do again their own state, the initial state. With call state, okay. Oh my god. This looks... I don't like this too much. I mean, I think it makes sense, but it's so complicated. Like, I don't like if the type makes the code so unreadable. Wow, but they go deep into the typing stuff. but they have like some source code. What do they have here? Signal Store. Oh, they even have Signal Store. And now I'm curious how they do. I guess they use fetch for their backend request. I'm doing it. Cool. Okay, cool. State. So I'm doing it means, yeah, so basically you are the interviewed one. So you are not the guy who is interviewing, right? Booking data home. Data maybe? Flight service. Find. Here it's also HTTP client. That's not that find promise that I wanted. Yeah. Oh wow, so it's for a new position then. Nice. I bet you will do good. You will for sure do good. So yeah, I don't know. Signal Store. I think it's Arc. What is Arc Signal Store public? Wow, they have a lot of examples. And domains, ticketing, data, flight service. Find promise. So what they do, first value from. Okay, I don't know this operator. What does it do? I guess you just return the first value as a promise. But I think you can also use fetch somewhere. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Like. So yeah, then basically I wish everybody a nice Friday afternoon. If you have holidays, enjoy your holidays, enjoy time with family, enjoy Christmas, which is next week, I think, yeah. And Ilir, all the best for the interview. Let me go how it went. Let me know how it went, right? And then yeah, hope to see you soon and have a nice evening. Bye bye.